How can you create your own financial plan? That's what we're talking about today. I want to teach you, as if you were a member of our planning community, how to create your own financial plan, put those steps in place. We know it's not always the right time, maybe it's not the right fit, etc. But as advocates for people to make better financial decisions, we want to get this out there and help as many people as possible. Just kind of get started, get organized, or update something you already have in place. So, as always, the starting point in any of this stuff, I mean, you may be tired of hearing it, but it's goal setting. Goal setting and creating a vision for your future. What are you trying to accomplish? If you don't know what that is, how are you going to get there? I know it's trite, but it's true. Okay, so we need to think in very specific details about what we're trying to accomplish, short, mid, and long term goals. Write them down, allow your mind to wander, allow yourself to dream a little bit. Think big, okay? When we're talking about vision, I think this is something that really gets overlooked in a lot of cases. Put yourself in the day to day, put yourself in that life, right? Like, what is it that you want to accomplish? What does it look like? Very specifically, who are you spending time with? How are you spending your time? What do your days look like? What do your weeks and months look like? All those things to create a really good vision, which then you can move you forward. All right, so setting good goals is it's not rocket science here. Smart, measurable, attainable, relevant, time based. Those are kind of the metrics we're always looking at. Those things remain true. Write them down. It's important. Share them. Find an accountability partner, and then create a system of review where you can look at this stuff on a consistent basis, because people that do that are going to be much more successful than people that don't have a system of review. If you just write it down once and then you kind of forget about it, it's in the back of your mind. But when you're looking at this stuff all the time, it really moves things forward. All right, step two in the process, creating financial statements, creating a picture of what your current situation looks like. We have to know exactly where you stand. And in order to do this, we need to gather as much information as possible. So, what we would do in this circumstance is request all this information. So, account statements. Anywhere, any institution you have an account with, we want to see an account statement on it. Okay. So, banks, credit unions, investments, retirement accounts, insurance policies. We want to see your tax returns. We want to see your pay stubs. We want to see a summary of employee benefits, right? Everything that you have going on from a financial perspective, anything that you can think of, we want to see, we want to document, we want to organize that and create financial statements based on that information. That's going to give us a picture of what your current situation looks like. Let's look at, so this is our client portal and the Rockatansky family here. As you can see, we've created financial statements for them, right? So the balance sheet, of course, is one, it's just a summary of your assets versus your liabilities in real time. And it's going to show you what your net worth is. Your income statement is similar. It's how much money is coming into the household from various sources. That's our simplified income statement. It's a little different than what you might see from a corporation. But for our purposes, we just want to create that to see exactly how much is coming in. And then we want to create a cash flow summary. So where are you directing your resources? And that's, we can see up here, your savings rate, super important. This hypothetical family has done a great job. 27% of their income on a gross basis being directed towards various places here. So they have money going to taxable accounts, retirement accounts, and an education account. Right, so that's what we want to look at, and kind of from the cash flow statement perspective. All right, so back to the financial statement. So the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow summary, but then we also want to create an inventory of anything that you have going on from an insurance perspective, right? So what insurance policies do you have? Life insurance, long-term care, disability coverage. We're talking about even property and casualty. Do you have an umbrella policy to go along with your home and auto coverage? All those things, estate documents, we want to see what's going on. Do you have those created? Are they in place? Are they up to date? Do they do what you need them to do? Tax returns, we already mentioned that, but we want to see what you have going on from a tax perspective. So all that goes into creating the current picture, creating the financial statements, and then kind of that inventory alongside of it, things that may not fall neatly within a balance sheet and income statement or a cash flow summary. Okay, but those are really important things. And then once we have all that information, we're going to plug it into a portal just like this. You want to use something like this to make your life easy, where you can see it all in one place. So you can see all of your important numbers, your net worth, your savings rate. We're going to give you a nice probability of success that's based on some goals that we'll plug into the system. And then as well as how your money's invested, that sort of stuff we want to break out after we create those financial statements. That's kind of some of the next steps when we're talking about doing analysis, okay? Okay, so maybe we did a little overlap there. Step two, creating your financial picture, everything that you have going on. We talked about the financial statements, et cetera. Doing the analysis. So we talked a little bit about some of the numbers that you're going to want to find out. So you want to know how much money you're saving and where you're directing it. Okay, you want to know how your assets are invested. You want to know how much insurance coverage you have, and then do the analysis to see what are my goals from that standpoint. Do I have enough to protect my family or any other legacy goals, those sort of things that go alongside that. So we're doing analysis on all those targeted areas within your financial situation. Okay. And the purpose of that is to determine any gaps. So maybe you do this, maybe you create or update your financial plan. You're like, I have a really good situation going on right now. I've been doing great things. I don't need to update much. Maybe the analysis will show some gaps. And in most cases, that's what we find are gaps. Right? We can tweak where you're sending your cash flow, right? So maybe not so much to the traditional pre-tax option, maybe a little more to Roth. Or maybe it all goes to pre-tax because you want to save money on taxes. Maybe we need to fund that taxable investment account to give you flexibility for some midterm goals before retirement, or the education planning, those sort of things, right? And then looking at investments. Are you invested aggressively, conservatively? Does it fit what you're trying to accomplish, what your time horizon is? All those good things, right? So that's how you're going to kind of look at it and see, do you have disability coverage from an insurance standpoint? Do you have enough life coverage? Okay, so just revisit. I know we touched on that, but these are the things that are going to pop into your head. These are the things that are going to pop up in your plan. Fill the gaps. That's the purpose of the analysis. Okay, so just to summarize what you're looking for. Okay, so when you're doing the analysis, we're talking about cash flow direction, how much money you're saving, where it's going, your investments, how are you invested, is it matching your goals and your risk tolerance? Insurance coverages, do you have enough? Taxes, are you paying your fair share or are you paying more than your fair share? Estate planning, do you have docs in place? Okay, so those are kind of the key elements that we're going to be looking at. All right, let's bring it all home. I know I got 1 minute left on my counter here, so I'm trying to keep this to 10 minutes or less. Bring it all home. You did your analysis, you found the gaps, so you want to make the changes that are being recommended based on your plan, your goals, etc. Okay, so make those changes, implement them. Okay, so that may mean going out and rebalancing accounts, changing how much money you're saving, etc., buying more insurance, doing better things from a tax planning standpoint, funding an FSA, whatever it is, and getting those estate docs in place, updating beneficiaries. Okay, so make the changes. That's super important. Implementing. Okay, that's one of our big frustrations in a lot of cases is we do these beautiful financial plans and the advice doesn't get implemented. So make sure you implement. And then just to wrap it up, schedule review. It's important in the beginning when you're getting this thing rolling to schedule some targeted reviews, in the first 90 days to make sure those action items are taking place, the plan is getting implemented, and you're on track, you're comfortable with everything, okay? And it keeps it, you're building a new routine, you're building a new mindset, you're building new habits, okay? Important stuff. Monitor, review, make changes. This stuff is guesswork in some cases because life is fluid. So you just have to continue to update your plan as things change. All right, so I'm under 10 minutes. I hope this was helpful. Talk to you next time, guys.